really honored to have Carlos Kikuta here, who is the producer of K1. And we are going to have a talk about the plans of K1 and the future, how they see the future of kickboxing. Carlos, we also have Yusuko Ono here, PR manager. Thanks for joining as well. Thanks for taking the time, you guys, because I think a lot of kickboxing fans are really, really interesting and curious what's going to happen. First off, as I must start, you are making a really good, strong comeback this year. Successful events in Europe. What inspired the resurgence, and how are your plans to sustain this?
Okay, I'm very glad to hear you say so. Indeed, we have made a long comeback with a successful events in Europe and Japan. There are several reasons for this revival, but first of all, and this is the even more evidence in the European market. The market was waiting for K1 14 years ago. K1 suspended its activities in Europe. And during that time, various striking organizations being established of existing martial arts organizations has continued their activities. But I believe that the market was not satisfied with their activities. There is more clear evidence when we speak with the promoters, athletes, and athletes affiliation in various countries. Okay, and the second, the rebuilding of brand in Japan was, completed with the match held in 2022 in Tokyo Dome. The next step, I think, is to aim for the world again. As for our plan to continue this momentum globally, we will continue to hold K1 events around the world in 2025, and we will continue to sign broadcast rights contracts. We will be able to announce more detail in this fall. Yep.
Okay, so in the fall, you will have, in the last part of the year, you will have more news about coming events next year. Well, you're really successful now. I know you are preparing for Brazil at the moment, with big names there. There is one burning question that every Dutch kickboxing fan have, because we get spammed with it. When is K1 returning to the Netherlands? And because it's seen as the cradle of kickboxing. Can you answer that question? Are you guys coming back?
Yeah. We are considering, strategy not for the Netherlands as a separate country, but for the larger region of Western and Eastern Europe. As mentioned above, we'll be able to announce our specific strategy in this fall of this year.
Okay, so in the fall, we are going to hear if you guys going to come to us again. Well, that's very exciting. We're going to follow that, of course. Well, the Dutch kickboxing market, as I may call it, because kickboxing is seen as a Dutch thing, but we know Japan also, is really, really big. It's dominated by glory and infusion here. Let's say when you guys come back, if you come back, do different things than these organizations are doing? Is there any plans on that?
Okay, both glory and infusion seems to gaining brand recognition in the local market. I'm very happy that kickboxing is gaining citizenship. Now, as far as differentiation, K1 is a competitive environment. K1 is not a simple kickboxing event like Glory or Infusion. The K in K1 stands for, it's a kickboxing, karate, kung fu, Muay Thai, Kung Khmer. Determine the champion of this year under the rule of K1. Okay, the K1 in the past, Japan's small wrestler have competed in K1. Yeah, its name Akebono. He passed away this year.
Yeah.
It is therefore as you can see from the matchmaking of K1, it is not a competition that attracts only kickboxers. Each fighter has a story to tell about their organization, their family, and their rivalry with other competitors, which makes the events and the matches even more interesting. This is a fundamental differentiation, such as between Glory, Infusion, and K1.
Okay, so in aspect of that, because we now see kickboxing matches, I know where the K stands for, you know, and a lot of people are even saying it stands, if I say it right in Japan, it's kakutugi, you know, like fight sport. Is it that we gonna see MMA fights then, or is it the fighters that come from MMA, from boxing, that are gonna compete in kickboxing?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's a good development, and then I come to my next question, because regarding of the tournaments where they are fighting in, is the hallmark of K1. K1 is really known about the really you know, hard tournaments, and everybody saying, okay, you know, that's where 16 men were fighting, and that's how it was going. Can we expect more of these Grand Prix? Because you did Europe, you're going to Brazil, and you say, okay, in the fall we're going to say more. But is the tournament thing the main focus for K1?
Yeah, exactly. In September, we will have an under 55 kilogram tournament and then under 65 kilogram tournament also. If it is viable as a business, the tournaments will be feature expanded.
Okay, so we can expect more weight classes, so not only heavyweight and open weight.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's a good thing, because you know, Glory is also talking about the Grand Prix with welterweight and all the weights that they have. And I know they suspended one weight group, like the lightweights. And so regarding to that, if you look to the current landscape of global kickboxing, how do you, as K1, rate your competitors like Glory and Infusion and World Championship? Do you see them as a threat, or do you see them as not a threat?
Yeah, the past 20 years, striking sports, you know, have been, you know, what can I say? Again, the Glory and the One are, you know, the certain our rival. Actually, they are our rival. But we'd like to work together in friendly competition to expand the striking sports, not MMA. What is unique about K1 that sets it apart from the other organizations, you know? Although there is no clear definition of Bushido, have you heard the name, like the word Bushido?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There is a fundamental value, standard of ethic and moral code in Bushido. In a broad sense, it's a common sense approach unique to Japan. When we hold an event, we take this code of ethnic and morals into consideration. That when we are searching the fighters and making matches, such matchmaking, there is something that One and Glory do not understand. That I think is a fundamental differences from K1.
Okay, so you guys work more from the roots, from Bushido, and they modernize it a little bit. And yeah, that's a really good slide to the next question, because I was wondering, there are a lot of new kickboxing fans. You know, we talk about the old kickboxing fans that knew the K1 before Glory came up and had another company as their head. You know, like it's Showtime. In what way are you guys plan to innovate or evolve the sport of kickboxing? You know, because you were talking about the Bushido way. Is there a certain strategy in that you're going to educate the fans on it, or?
You know, in the past, it was the so-called mass media, such as newspapers and television, that formed that mass market. Today, with the spread of broadband and other devices, such as mobile phone and other devices, the social networking service, such as Instagram and X, said to be leading the market. Okay. However, I believe that the social networking services are still not strong enough to lead the mass market in terms of credibility. So I'd like to further develop K1 by using both existing mass media and social networking. I like to further develop K1 by using both mass media and social. In order for us to spread our notion and what we are doing, our story, I want to use both old media and social.
Okay, because one championship claims to do that also. They say they are the root, also of Bushido or the fight sports. And Chatri said, we are really into the fighters, but there's a lot of things going on with K1. Especially when I talk to the Dutch kickboxers, they are not satisfied. They're not getting enough fights. For them, it's not the Bushido way of life. If you look at the current organizations like K1, like One Championship, is there in any way a possibility that you are going to work together with other organizations? Because you're doing it in Romania, with the organization to set up the K1. Is there any way that you are considering to maybe work with your biggest competitors? Or do you say no?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course, we are thinking about it, but I cannot announce it yet.
Okay. Well, you're keeping it really, really tense for us. So really excited to wait for the news. Because it's always good that there's rumors going around as this morning, we wrote about that Gokhan Saki and Badr Hari maybe could fight again. And Badr fought at the K1. And I have a question. Could it be that Badr will fight his last fight at the K1? Would that be interesting for the K1?
Sorry, say that again. Yeah.
Well, Badr Hari is fighting for glory. And we wrote an article this morning that there are rumors that he's going to fight again. He's preparing, but also Gokhan Saki. Is there in any way a chance that K1 would offer Badr Hari his last fight to have it with the K1?
Yeah, actually, there any possibility, no matter what we can do.
So the answer is yes or no?
I can tell now. I can tell it now.
Okay. K1 is making this global comeback. You were talking about, using different sources like social media, mass media, and I think you already a little bit answered it about the Bushido way. But what message would you like to send to the kickboxing fans and athletes around the world, especially those in region where the K1 had a special historic presence, like the Netherlands and other countries? Is there in any way a message that you will send out to them that make them follow K1?
Okay, to all the martial arts fans around the world who have been urgently waiting with our K1. K1 has once again gone global. North America, Latin America, all of European countries, the Eastern European, the Western Europe, Asia, Oceania, the Middle East, and Africa are all important regions for K1. We will do our best to have events in all regions and to make K1 events available in all regions and broadcasting also. Thank you so much all for your support. Now I will send you a powerful message.
Okay, because we see that the reactions we get from the fans, they really liked the events that were being held till now, because Errol Zimmerman was fighting there. He's really known. The tournaments were really exciting and really, with a lot of surprises as well. Ex-kickboxers from other companies. Are you going to add more kickboxers to your roster from other companies? Are we going to see some other big names? Because I see that you are holding in Brazil. There is Guto Inocente, Anderson Silva. Are there more kickboxers that maybe share your interest?
Actually, we may invite the famous kickboxer, the other athletes. But the basic idea is to train young athletes.
Okay. Well, I think K1 is keeping it very exciting for the fans, and I think the fans are really looking out to the last end of the year. You're going to Brazil next week, or this weekend, for the event.
I'm heading to Brazil next week.
Is there any message to tell the fans to go look for that event? Is it going to be broadcasted widely, or is it only for the local South American market?
Okay, now only in the South American market at this time. But we are planning to how to spread the how to get the broadcasting deal in the future.
Okay, because what we see a lot and what we advise the fans not to do, because it's really dangerous. We see a lot of people always trying to find some piracy, to try to look from the not official channels. Is K1 also like UFC protecting that? That they say, okay, we're going to find you if you do piracy.
Yeah, exactly. We are, worried about the piracy activity at this time.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much. Is there anything, Yusuku, because you were quiet during the interview, you were listening?
Basically, like what, like this is between you and like producers. So like I'm just watching and suggesting that. Like what the Carlos, if Carlos say like insider information, like I would say no, you cannot say that or something like that. So like it's basically like I'm quiet. That's why.
Okay, so you're the censor. Well, thank you very, very much for this interview. I think the fans are going to look out for the news coming. So. To the fans, keep your eyes out for K1 because they're making a really strong comeback. The old days of kickboxing are being relived, so follow K1. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for giving your time. Thank you.
I hope to speak to you again in the fall.
Okay, sure,
Maybe
no
you can
problem.
bring some news. Yusuku, thank you very much. And again, to the fans, keep following K1.